welcome back into another episode of Indiebnb. Today we are joined by Kennedy Jude out of beautiful Chico, California. Kennedy, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. Well, you were giving me a little bit of background on kind of the program and the things you're enrolled in there at CSU Chico. So, interested to hear more about, being in an art school and, having some folks that are, their project is to get you in front of more people.
Yeah. So I'm partnered with the School of the Arts program through the Department of Music, Theater, and Dance at California State University, Chico. And essentially, the School of the Arts is a class that music business majors can take, or I'm not sure if it's open to non-majors, but um, basically people who are looking to get into the music industry in a management kind of position. And it allows those people to learn how to do those jobs by recruiting local artists and representing them for the school year.
Wow. Well, I mean, I appreciate, Julian, shout out Julian for getting you in front of us. They were doing some research and found our pod. So excited to kind of learn more. Well, before CSU Chico, before all of that, like, I mean, as far as, becoming an artist and getting inspired, like what has been the driving factor for you?
Driving factor for me, I've always been a very big fan of performing live. And I've always used songwriting as like a coping mechanism or just like a hobby. And you know what? Those things go really well together. So I have a background in choirs and in theater. I'm a theater arts minor in school. Um, but I also wanted the opportunity to show some of my music to the world because I like it a lot and I stand by the things that I say, you know?
Love it. I love it. Well, I mean, any great roles that you've had in the past that you'd like to share with us that, in theater or in otherwise?
Oh, I mean, this past year and getting to like start performing live as Kennedy has been amazing. Um, I would say I kicked off my theater career with in middle school. We were playing Elf the musical
Oh,
based on the movie Elf with Will Ferrell, and I got cast as Santa Claus. So that's pretty good stuff. I had a big fake belly and a beard, and it was so scratchy.
man. All right. Well, you've been Santa Claus, so let's go. I mean,
I sure
I think
have.
that's one you got to put on there. It's like, look, end of the day, I've been the happiest, most jolly person on earth, and you
Absolutely.
know what? You can't take that away from me. But well, good. Well, as you've gone in and started, into your program, and also just getting into this as just an independent artist, like what's that been like so far, in Chico and the California area?
Yeah, it's been really cool. I'm not from Chico. I'm not from the Chico area. I'm not from California. I'm a Midwesterner. So it's been really interesting to not only see what it takes to get into a local music scene, but simultaneously to explore the local music scene of a place that I'm new to. Those are both really cool things. There have been a lot of like small venues that support local artists, which is great. There are open mic nights, which are really awesome, just to like get accustomed to singing your music in front of a crowd. Um, yeah, there have been lots of great opportunities, and I'm really grateful for the music community in Chico and for the enthusiasm that people have for seeing live music and supporting small artists.
I love that. Well, as you've, I mean, back when you were, back in the Midwest, like, did you have a specific couple venues that you played at, or just kind of you were kind of figuring the project out still? What was the impetus there?
I haven't done any gigs in the Midwest yet, actually, not live. I've recorded background vocals or featured on some songs for a friend of mine here in my hometown. But I haven't uh, done any live performance yet. But I'm looking into it. I'm excited to see if there are any opportunities um, to do that while I'm here in my hometown for the summer.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, speaking of your hometown, I mean, you transitioned it perfect. You teed it up right for me. I mean, that's our song Spotlight. That's what you've got out, a single out that came out earlier this year. Like, we always like to figure out how the songs came from something to, nothing to something. And so
Hmm.
start there. Like, where did this song come from? It's a very, emotional song. Love the, kind of the theme of it throughout. I think a lot of people can identify with it. So talk me through, how did it become about?
Yeah, so the song is Hometown Blues. And it's a song I wrote, I think, the spring of my first year of college, because I was watching or I was scrolling through social media and I was watching all of these kids who are like a year younger than me get into these really prestigious schools. Because I went to high school in a town that turned out a lot of really smart and a lot of really rich students.
Hmm.
And those tend to be the students who get into prestigious schools, which, like, hey, if that's the opportunity you have, I'm so happy for you. That was not the case for me. And I was having a really hard time with that because in high school, um, like, my academics were such a huge part of my identity. I was a really good student. I was incredibly involved in classes and AP work and extracurriculars and like student leadership. It was just these feelings of not even jealousy, but like shame about not being the exact same quality or caliber as everyone else, who I was seeing bragging about their lives online. Um, and so I wrote the song Hometown Blues, which follows me as I return to my hometown and I see people in the grocery store, which, if you're from a small town, it's kind of unavoidable. And, you always get to chatting, and then they would say something really impressive about their life, and I'd be like, "That's so awesome for you. I am going to school, and I am sleeping at night, and I am eating in the day, and that's kind of what I'm doing." Um, and I felt embarrassed about it. So I wrote the song to kind of try and like analyze and cope with those feelings of like inadequacy. Um, there's a line about uh, seeing someone who like really fostered their talents for the arts. And I say I should shake their hand and give myself a beating because I'm no good at being exactly like my friends. Um, yeah, it's just that like really negative comparing yourself to others. It doesn't uplift anyone, um, including the people you're comparing yourself to. Um, so it's definitely came from an unhealthy place, but I am glad I wrote it because it helped me kind of figure out where those feelings were coming from and helped me cope with them.
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned earlier that like the songwriting and kind of the part of this is very therapeutic for you. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like you kind of explored some stuff there and really got into, I think a lot feelings that a lot of people I think have. I think that song is not, just a, Kennedy Jude feeling. I think that's a
Yeah.
feeling that many, many, many people can identify with. And, putting it together in such a way is really, really nice. So, within that, like, um, did you start with the lyrics first and kind of put it together that way, or were you kind of humming on a guitar? Like, what was the kind of the start of the music part of it as well?
I was in a dorm room without any instruments. So I think I was literally on GarageBand using my computer's keyboard to play the bass notes of the chords and then um, humming along, which is how I think I got the little hum after the chorus. And then for actual lyrics, I tend to start out with like a journal entry where it's just sort of stream of consciousness. Doesn't have to make sense, doesn't have to connect to each other, doesn't have to be good. And then I find a way to make that work within the chords that I'm working with. I think the first line was initially, is cursing okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, the first
Oh shit.
line was
Yeah.
initially some asshole from my hometown.
Yeah.
And then I like took a step back and I went, "Oh, that's actually all the people I'm jealous of are really nice." And that's 100% projection. And so then I kind of honed in on the feeling of like oh, this is about me and my feelings of inadequacy. So I think I kind of went from there.
Hmm. Gotcha. And then like for, getting the, so did you flesh this whole thing out through GarageBand, or did you end up, enlisting some folks with, with some help to kind of get it to where you wanted it to be, or?
Yeah, I recorded a demo on the piano, and then I sent it to my managers once I was recruited through the SOTA program at my school, which was, such a great opportunity. Um, and there's a local producer, Brandon Brown of Moose Beats, who is working with the School of the Arts program to do free production and mixing for those students, which is super, super great. So I've worked with him to sort of create um, my songs, and yeah.
Gotcha. Wow. Well, it sounds like, again, like this program sounds awesome, that it's just getting, opening some doors for everyone involved. Like for you, is this a part of a bigger project? Is this just kind of a beginning into this? Like what's kind of next in the, songwriting phase? Do we have some more stuff, locked and loaded that you want to get out there?
Yeah, there are a few songs that are in the final stages or semi-final stages of production that I would love to release this summer if,
Hmm.
time and logistics allow. Um, I have one pomegranate song that I know is going to come out this summer because that one's ready. Um, I think in terms of like career and what's happening next, I think I just need to kind of lock in and build a social media presence, work more consistently towards marketing my songs because I think that's where I kind of struggle. Um, it's weird to brag about yourself online and try and like hype up work that feels very personal, even when you recognize that it's not always healthy work. Um, Yeah, but I'm proud of the work that I've done. So I'm, gotta kind of get out of my head about that and
Hmm.
get to work on making reels and TikToks, I suppose.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like it's so hard to me. Like I can't even think about writing a song. I was talking to somebody last night about this. I was like, and he was like, yeah, like I used to be a big appreciator. Now I, got into writing, and I'm like, man, if you go Grant, I'm either going to shoot you in the head or you're going to write us a good song. Like I probably am dead. I'll be honest with you. But like, then you got to go layer on the fact that like I got to write something really that people want to listen to. But then also you got to go talk about it on all these different platforms that don't talk or communicate with each other. I think it's a hard deal, but I guess it's just the way the world is now.
Yeah, it's interesting and it's tricky, but I'm excited to sort of figure out how to balance that.
Yeah. Hopefully you get some good, you get some good ideas from the folks that are helping you in that program, but also, so we'll be looking for some more songs coming out this summer, it sounds like. And got
Absolutely.
some things in the works. Now, are you obviously gigging in California? You mentioned you haven't gigged in the Midwest. So like what's been, some of your experience there? Like, have you played at some bars? What's been where have you played the most?
Yeah, I've played on campus a few times. I have played um there's a venue called Naked Lounge, and it's, I think, a coffee shop bar combination, but don't quote me on that. I got to do a Valentine's Day event where it was songs of love and heartbreak, um, and it was a competition between several local singer-songwriters, all doing covers of songs of love and songs of heartbreak. So that was really cool. And I had the opportunity to do that one with my roommate as an accompanist, which was
Cool.
really nice. Um, let's see, where else have I gigged? Um, I've done a few singer-songwriter competitions. Um, not as a competitor this year because they're put on by the School of the Arts. So, in the interest of not seeming rigged, the soda artists can't compete, but we can perform.
Hmm.
But I've also performed in those before being represented by the School of the Arts, and I got a runner up, like an honorable mention one year. So that was pretty cool. Um, yeah, those are sort of my experiences, and then a lot of open mics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it? I mean, like, if for do you go in and you're like, all right, open mic, we're playing hometown blues for sure. Maybe a couple covers, or like, what's kind of what do you have locked in the chamber for if you're walking into an open mic?
I have this big spreadsheet on Google Docs of, like, all of the songs, like, if they're complete. I have a lot of half-finished songs, so those go on there, in case I get on a songwriting kick and I wanna finish anything, but they aren't really performable. So I find songs that are complete on that list. If I have worked on something recently or finished something recently that I really like, I'll tend to do that. If I am trying to promote a new song that's coming out, for example, a Hometown Blues, that's what I will do. And then give myself a shout out on Spotify and on Instagram. Um, yeah, I think it depends on how active I've been as a songwriter, how active I've been on like the business side of being a performer, and then um, how active I've been as a performer. Because if I've done Hometown Blues, for example, the past two performances, I usually want to do something else just
Yeah,
for my own mental stimulation.
for sure, for sure. And well, I did ask this to I think Courtney is the gal I interviewed up in from San Francisco, and I was asking her. She does a fair amount of gigging with within covers and with different things. And so do you have a cover that you particularly love, or you have a cover that you particularly hate playing? If you do do a little bit of cover action.
I don't tend to do a lot, but for the songs of love and heartbreak performance, I did Savior Complex by Phoebe Bridgers, and I really love that song. It's
Yeah.
just so beautiful, and so it's simple, but it's heartbreaking. And if you perform it well, it's like really it's very compelling.
Mhm.
And I enjoy performing it, and I enjoy singing it.
Love that. Awesome. Well, we want to get to, a little bit lighter, of some lighter topics here, and we'll pop into the Pete Peterson party pack of questions to wrap up our time with Kennedy Jude here. We appreciate you taking it here. And I want to, first give you a warning up top. At the last song are bands or, artists that we might not know that we ought to check out.
Okay.
So, just be thinking about that in the back of your mind as you come through these questions here right now. Pete Peterson's party pack of questions, 20 questions right in a row. Here we go. Kenny Jude, cake or pie?
Pie.
All right, we're
Absolutely.
pieing it up. Love it. Salad or soup?
Ooh, I think soup.
All right.
Yeah,
It gets cold in the Midwest now. You probably grew
it
up on soup. Yeah.
really does. Um, I would say I'm a hater of like stew. It's too chunky for me, but a good soup, I'll take a soup any day.
All right. All right. Sunrise or sunset? What are you seeing more of these days?
Sunsets, definitely.
Sunset.
The day I get up on time to see the sunrise is the day I've gotten my life together. I'm excited for it. It just hasn't happened yet.
I got you. I got you. All right. Would you rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
Ooh, um, I think score a touchdown. I'm not a huge sports person, but I think scoring a touchdown implies that I've already done all the running and the avoiding of being tackled.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Scoring a touchdown's actually, again, I'm biased, played football, but it's harder because you have to have 11 people do their job.
yeah.
So much, much more difficult. But all right. Are you having a night in or night out more often these days?
Night in, definitely.
Okay. All right. When you do hit a night out, though, and your favorite song comes on, are you more likely to hit the robot or the
Oh, I wish I had the core strength for the worm. I'll hit an awkward robot, or like a vertical worm, you know?
Okay. All right. All right.
I don't have the core strength for the full on the floor worm.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Guac or queso at your favorite Tex-Mex spot?
Queso,
All right.
you know.
Cheesing it up. I like it. Waffles or pancakes in the morning time?
Ooh, I would go waffles with some berries and some whipped cream.
All right. All right. All
Yeah.
right. Coffee or tea with your waffles with cream and berries?
Gotta be tea. Coffee scares me a little bit.
Okay. Dogs or cats?
Both?
You can
Can I
have
have
both.
both?
You can have both.
Okay.
You can have both. You can have both. Uh, Ninja or a pirate? What do you identify more with?
Ooh, I like the idea of piracy. It's maybe less notable than being a ninja, but a life at sea.
Yeah.
Maybe the pirate's life is for me, you know?
Oh my gosh. No one's made that yet. No one's made the rhyme yet. Dang. Gatorade or Powerade?
Ooh, I don't know that I drink either of these. I think Gatorade is more iconic to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Toast or bagels?
bagels. Again,
Bagels.
gotta get the cream cheese. Big
Yeah.
cheese girl.
All right. Chips or pretzels?
Ooh, I think pretzels.
Pretzels with
Yeah.
some beer cheese, perhaps? A soft
Yeah, if it's a
pretzel?
soft pretzel, ooh, I'm down for that. That's a
Yeah.
good summer snack.
All right. Fries or tots?
Fries.
I
Yeah.
love that. Okay. TV show or a movie on your nights in? What are you watching?
Ooh, I'm a big fan of rom-coms. If we're talking movies, TV shows, I think I find it harder to get invested. So I'm gonna go movies. I'm gonna go rom-com on my night in.
All right. I like that. Are aliens real?
Probably.
Okay. All right. What about Bigfoot?
Bigfoot, um, I like to think yes. I like to think that he's out there somewhere, and I hope he knows that I'm supportive of him.
I like it. All right. Well, if we ever meet him, I'll pass that along.
Yes, thank you.
Uh, is love at first sight real? I think I know the answer to this one based on your rom com answer, but
Honestly, I think chemistry at first sight is real. I don't know
okay.
about full love. I don't know if it's I love a rom-com, but I don't know about the realism of a rom-com.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. And last question of Pete Peterson's party pack of questions with Santa Claus, aka Kennedy Jude. Who are some artists that we haven't checked out that you know that we might need to know?
I want to shout out a few local artists from Chico, Queen Goddess Lilac and the Bella Locas. There's some great artists. I know Queen Goddess Lilac has a song out or a few songs out, but Carpe Diem is one that I really like. Um, in terms of slightly less niche artists, I'm a big fan of the band Tennis. Um,
Love tennis.
love Tennis. Underrated, and they've been in the game for a long time. So I would encourage everyone to go listen to Tennis. I'm a big fan of Nep, who is releasing their newest album pretty soon. I think this summer.
Mhm.
But they have EPs out, and their songwriting and their like genre versatility is really interesting.
All right.
Um, I if you're not listening to Chapel Rowan, go listen to Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness. I haven't been able to share this because like we slide we try to DM a fair amount of artists as well as email, and
mhm,
one time I DM'd her. This was before this was probably like 2 or 3 years ago, and
yeah.
she DM'd me back, and I was like, oh well, usually when they DM me back it's like, oh sweet, we're gonna get her on. She's like, yeah, let me check my schedule. I like DM'd her back a couple times, and then she got like exploded, and I'm like, man, I'll never get that one back.
No.
I'm like, God, we could have had Chapel on for a quick
Oh my
interview,
gosh.
but I figured if you're Midwest, she's amazing.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen her live, but I need to.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
it's going to
You
be
haven't
in a
seen
stadium
clips of
next
her
time I have an
live.
opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, like she's been opening for Olivia Rodrigo, and I think she's going on her own tour right now. Yeah. The clips of her performing are so good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say those are my main shout outs at the moment.
I love it. I love it. Well, Kennedy Jude, we got some, Queen Goddess local or Queen Goddess Lilac. She's got Queen Goddess Lilac. We got Bella Loca, tennis, Nap. Is Nap NAP or NAPP?
NEE.
NEP.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, the Midwest princess herself, Chapel Roan.
Of course.
So, well, we appreciate you coming on. I did fail to mention this earlier during the song spotlight, but everybody can check out Hometown Blues below in the description, whether this is on Spotify or our YouTube channel. So please go stream and check out her music. It's amazing, and we will, hopefully be seeing you again. As we go and progress here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Awesome.